Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. Today I am going to be talking about the 10 demos that I played during Steam Next Fest. I'm going to be talking about the demos by ranking them on a tier list. And before I get started, just FYI, this is all my opinion. I'm going to be ranking them based on how likely it is that I would buy the game if it were available right now. I realize that demos are not a finished product and that there's going to be some bugs, so I am taking that into consideration. Again, this is just my opinion. You may have a different opinion than me, but hopefully watching this video you'll get a feel for what some of these games are like and see if you want to put them on your own wish list. The first game I played during Steam Next Fest is On Your Tail. This game was recently featured in the Wholesome Direct, and overall I found this to be a really solid demo. I wrote notes on each of these, so I'm going to be referring to those. So for this game, I thought there was some really interesting gameplay elements, including the investigation mechanics, life sim mechanics, and the mini games. Let's start by talking about the investigation mechanics. This is a game that's all about investigating. You're a detective. So I think they had to get this right in order for this to be a good game. And it's really interesting. So first you explore the scene with this little device that you get, which is a pocket watch and a magnifying glass in one, and it allows you to see how things were in the past. So you use this device, you scan for clues, and then every time you get a clue, it translates into a card, basically. Once you get all these clues, you are put into a different type of mode where the characters are like little board game pieces, which I thought was a really cute addition. And you have to play these cards in the correct order of how the events happened in order to solve the case. I found this to be not too tricky, but a really interesting way of doing things. I've played quite a few detective games, and they all have their own interesting way of doing the investigation and the cracking, the clue solving as a mechanic. And like other games I played, I also enjoyed this mechanic. So kudos to the team. I think this was really cool, and I'm excited to try it out in the full game. Other things I liked about this game were the mini games within it. I played the marbles mini game, and I just thought it was a really cute, fun addition. I haven't really played marbles in real life like how we played it in this game, but it was fun and it was cute. I would have liked to go back and play that mini game even more, but the demo, when it ended, it didn't let you go back to explore the rest of the world any more than you already did. So that is an FYI. If this demo is still out and you want to try it, do all of your exploration before you go and solve the case, because you won't be able to go back. And one more thing that I enjoyed about this game was the writing. I thought the writing was done really well. The characters are interesting. Every time you meet a new character, you get a card of that character who explains who they are and some of the things that you've learned about them. In the demo, you get to explore the town with one of the characters, and I thought the writing was really solid. Something I didn't love about this game, and this is completely personal preference, are the character aesthetics. I'm not sure if I find them creepy or cute. It is a complete matter of taste, and it's not setting me away from the game at all. Like, the gameplay and everything else about the game, I think, trumps how I feel about the character design, but just a matter of taste. It's not totally my vibe. So all that being said, where am I going to rank On Your Tail? It's kind of a toss-up between take my money and on my wish list, because I'm really discovering that I like detective games. So I think I'm gonna put it on, I'm gonna put it on take my money, I think. Yes, I'm putting it on take my money. Okay. The next demo that I played, I haven't heard about this game until I found the demo for Next Fest, and it's called Dustborn. This is kind of an adventure narrative game, and you are playing as a character who is in a band in this sort of dystopian world. There are like robot cops and there's factions. It's really interesting, really deep. You could check out their website to learn more about the story. What drew me to this initially is the art design. It's really unique, really like soft color palette. And it's a 3D while not being 3D. It kind of looks like a comic book. I was just really vibing with the art style. Another thing that was great about this demo is the voice acting. The thing was entirely voice acted, and I love a voice acted game. What can I say? I love a voice acted game. So that was also a big win in my book. The story also was just really intriguing. I wanted to learn more about these characters and the world they live in. The demo takes you through a few different scenes and scenarios that the characters experience throughout the game. They're not connected in any way. It's just giving you a little taste without spoiling anything. And I could say that that little taste made me crave more. Something that was a little off in the demo, and that I'm sure the devs are going to be working on as this game is still in development, is that the moving was a little bit wonky. When you were walking, the faster you walked, the character would like build up momentum, and even if you stopped controlling the character, they would still walk a little bit based on that momentum, and that was just a little bit annoying while playing, but I'm sure that's something that the dev team is going to be working on. So overall, where am I putting Dustborn on this list? I feel like it's another take my money. It's another take my money. It's definitely like my type of game. It gives me Life is Strange vibes. So it's going in to take my money. Okay, the next game on the list is Farming Boy. This is an absolutely unique take on a farming sim. It's really focuses on getting combos. So based on what plant you plant and where you plant it, when you harvest it, it will harvest crops in other plots around it in like a chain reaction pattern. And I found this super addicting. I wanted to try to get the biggest chain reaction. You have limited abilities in the beginning, and you gain them by buying different ability cards each day with the money you earn. So it had a great sense of progression and, like I said, really addicting gameplay. I did feel like there were some things that were missing in this demo that I'm interested to see if the devs are going to include in the full release of the game. Some of that is more story. They did give you a little morsel of a story in the demo, but I would like to see that more fully fleshed out. Again, this is more personal taste. I prefer games that have a story to them to keep you interested while playing. So I would really like to see that in the full game, as well as some decorating elements. Those of us who play farming sims have become very accustomed to being able to decorate our homestead to our heart's content. Now, there was no option for decorating in this demo, and I think that's a missed opportunity. So I'd be really interested if that's something that's going to come out in the full release. So based on what I played of Super Farming Boy, where do I put it on the tier list? I am thinking on my wish list. If they're able to add some of those additional elements I talked about, like a bit more story and maybe the decorating element, it would get to the take my money section. But as it is now and what I played, it's going on my wish list, but it's not an immediate take my money. The next game on my list is one that has been on my wish list for probably years now. I don't remember where I first discovered this game, but it just looked so cute. The name is cute. I'm talking about Bloomtown. Now, this game is trying to mix some farming life sim mechanics with a turn-based RPG system. So it is a narrative JRPG. That is what it is advertised as, and I think that that's very accurate. In the demo, you do some farming, you do some life sim things, you do some RPG things, you do some dungeon crawling. There is a lot in this demo, and it took me a little while to complete, but I really enjoyed it. If you are into pixel style graphics, then you're really gonna love this one. The pixel art is done beautifully. It's really reminding me of Eastward, another pixel art game that is kind of in this same type of life sim adventure RPG genre. I have not played Eastward, so I'm not sure what the fighting mechanics are in that game, but in Bloomtown, it is a turn-based system. Pretty typical, think Pokemon has a turn-based fighting system. The writing was pretty funny. The characters in the story, you're following mainly a brother-sister duo, and they had a really cute banter back and forth, which I enjoyed, but there were a lot of typos in the demo. Of course, that's something that the devs are probably going to fix, but the story needs a little bit of work. Also, I felt like things were happening really fast. So in this game, you go to your grandfather's for the summer, and this town has a mystery. It's giving a little Stranger Things vibes. And you kind of are cast into this underworld out of nowhere. And there's a talking dog, and you just kind of don't, like, the character doesn't question it too much. So I felt like the jumping into the lore was really fast, but maybe that was just the demo and they wanted to get you into things quicker. But I think that this game could benefit from having some cutscenes, whether those are animated cutscenes or just text-based cutscenes. I think that they could really help flesh out the story and make you more attached to the characters and the situation that they're in. The last comment I'll make about this game is the battle music. I was vibing with this battle music. It was lo-fi, and I would just get the record, the vinyl of this, and play it. So if you are into lo-fi music with some actual lyrics, this battle music is a vibe. It is a vibe. So Bloomtown, where am I putting it? It's a solid on my wish list. There are a lot of things that the devs need to work on, including the story, the writing, but overall this is very intriguing, and I think a lot of people will really like this. I could see this becoming a big hidden gem when it's released. The next game I'm going to be talking about is Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island. This game, the graphics really got me. As you may know, if you know about Steam Next Fest, there are so many demos to choose from, and I had a really long list of ones that I was interested in. So the graphics caught me on this one, and that's how it got onto my played demos list. And the idea of it being with the Greek gods is really interesting to me. I really enjoy the webtoon Lore Olympus, and that's following the Greek gods, so I thought, ooh, it'll play a little bit into that. I kind of know the characters from reading that webtoon series, and it wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't a bad game by any means, but just from looking at the trailer and looking at the key art to seeing the actual gameplay and experiencing it, it wasn't matching up completely. One thing that bothered me was the sound effects, the voice acting. There is not full voice acting in this game, but the characters will just kind of make one noise while you read the text. So a character will be like, bleh? And And I don't know, that wasn't totally vibing with me. I wasn't loving that. Also, you meet Hermes in the demo, the Greek god Hermes. And he is just a man with a pot belly and a diaper with tiny angel wings. And I don't know how I feel about that. He was kind of creepy looking. He was kind of creepy looking. But despite the aesthetics and despite the weird sound effects, how was the gameplay? The gameplay was interesting. You are exploring this island, which you are shipwrecked on, and you're needing to do favors for the Greek gods because they have forgotten who they are. Typical game plot. Amnesia. So the Greek gods forgot who they are, and you're helping them remember who they are. And I don't know, I guess the goal is to get home, but you're also kind of like building your own home on this Greek island. So it's a little confusing about where the story is going, but if you like adventure games, if you like Greek mythology, then this might be a good one for you. The demo did have a little bit of a puzzle element to it, but I feel like it could have been more tricky. I am not a lover of puzzle games, but I found the puzzle way too easy. So interested to see if this game will have more difficult puzzles as you progress, and what really the main gameplay mechanic is going to be here. Is it going to be puzzles? Is it going to be decorating? Is it going to be the narrative? Is it going to be exploration? I'm not totally sure based on this demo. So that'll be a wait and see. Moving around in this game was a little bit awkward. First, the animation doesn't look great, and it just didn't feel smooth. I did play this game with a controller, and it could be the sensitivity settings that I had that made the movement feel a little bit off, but to me, it's something that the devs could work on a little bit. Overall, where do I put this game? I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I'm going to put it in I want to see where it goes. Right now, I don't think it would be worth it for me, but it's an interesting concept. The art is really interesting, quite beautiful. So I'm interested to see where it goes, but right now it's in the category. Little Sim World. I was really excited to try this demo. If you watched my previous video where I featured some cozy games dropping in 2024, you would have seen me talk about this game. Something that I found intriguing about it is that the devs say that there are going to be no loading screens, and in the demo this was true. There were no loading screens, so you were able to stay in that world without getting broken out of it by a loading screen. But despite no loading screens, the tutorials, there was so much tutorial in this game. You had to read so much to learn how to do different things in this game. And while I understand needing tutorials, it would have been nicer if it was integrated into the game a bit more, so you didn't have that break of immersion of having to go and read like 4 slides of tutorial to learn how to fix your broken sink. Something else that kind of disappointed me is that the demo was really short. I finished the demo in less than an hour, and this included me customizing my character, which takes a long time. So it was mostly tutorial. There wasn't much place to explore. And I don't know, it gave me a sense of the different mechanics that are going to be included in this game, but it didn't get me excited about the game. So it was a little disappointing. Where am I going to put this on the list? I'm still interested to see where this game goes. So it's staying on my wish list. But I think I have to put it in the category. I was just a little disappointed. The next game I'm going to be talking about, I have not mentioned before, but it has also been on my wish list for quite some time, and that is Reika. This is an adventure game where you are, I think, a witch's apprentice named Reika. And what drew me to this game initially, before Next Fest, is that it includes a house on chicken legs. Now, there is a great book called A House with Chicken Legs. It is a middle grade book, and it's about folklore where there is a Baba Yaga who lives in a house with chicken legs. Just read up on it. It's a bit nerdy, but that's what drew me to this game. I was like, wow, it's really cool bringing this folklore element into the video game space. So seeing that there was going to be a demo for this during Next Fest, I was really excited because I have been looking forward to this for a long time. So initially opening the game, you get to a character customization screen where you're able to choose different features of your character. Your character is always going to be female, I believe, at least in the demo, because you are playing as Reika, a set character. You're not playing as yourself, but you could choose her hairstyle and the different outfits that she wore. This wasn't a super extensive character customization, but it's something that I wasn't expecting in the game, so it was really cool that they threw that in there. I will say that this game was a little bit clunky. Walking around and elements loading, it was just taking a bit of time. Now, this game is a very large open world, and I feel like that's something that maybe the devs are struggling with, is loading all of those elements and having it run smoothly. Now, I really understand that could take a lot of time to perfect, so I'm trying to hold my judgment until the game is further in development, but it is a little concerning right now in the state it's in. The story takes a little while to pick up in the demo. You don't really know who you are or why you're where you are or where you are at all. It just throws you in. Now, again, I'm assuming that this is because of the demo. I think that a good cutscene at the beginning will really solve all of this problem. But once you get a little bit further into the demo, you find the witch, you will learn a bit more, things become a little clearer, and it became so intriguing. I wanted to know more. I wanted to know more about Reika, what brought her here, who this witch is, how this house with chicken legs came about. It was so intriguing, and maybe it has to do with some of my nerdiness about folklore, but I wanted to know more. I wanted more. In addition to exploring and learning about the characters and learning about the world around you, this game has a really interesting customization component where you are building your house with chicken legs. You literally build the cabin on top of these chicken legs. And this mechanic was also a little bit clunky, but again, this is the demo, so we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. But so cool that there's this building element. So if you're into customization, you're probably gonna really love this. I also found out that there is cooking in this game. I was able to make a couple things. Depending on how long you spend in the demo, you probably were going to discover different things. I did discover if you combine 3 mushrooms, you make a mushroom soup or a mushroom bread. So that's gonna be a really cool element, that there's gonna be this kind of collection process that you could collect recipes, you could collect ingredients. The character also has some magic, obviously. She's a witch living with Baba Yaga. So that was interesting, and I'm wondering if you're going to be able to learn new spells throughout the game. Anyway, I feel like based on my babbling about this, you could tell where I'm going to put this game. It is nowhere near perfect. It is nowhere near a state of release. But take my money, please, because I am all in on the Reika train. Loved it. Can't wait. Please give me more. Free Ride is another game that was featured during the Wholesome Direct, and that was the first time that I heard about this game. And it was really intriguing to me because it's said to be an RPG but a personality test. And that it's taking your conscious and unconscious actions into consideration. So I just thought that was such an interesting concept that I had to check it out. So if I were to describe Free Ride in one word, it would be trippy. You feel like you are taking a journey through an acid trip while playing this game. The characters are weird creatures. You're going on a bus that's like for spirits. When you walk around, the ceiling becomes the floor. It is trippy. It's trippy. The game is also very confusing. It gives you very little direction of what you need to do, but I think that's intentional for the personality test portion of this game. So I was confused, but I was determined to figure out what I was supposed to do. So I kept going and I made it to the end of the demo. I figured out what I had to do, and I don't want to give anything away because I feel like you need to go into this game knowing not too much. So overall, I'm just intrigued. I don't think this is fully polished. I'm still unsure if I even played it correctly, but I'm intrigued. So I'm putting this game in the on my wish list section. There are 2 more games for me to rank in this video, and if you like what you have been watching so far, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. I love bringing this cozy content to YouTube and would love to continue to do more of it. The second to last game on the list is another Wholesome Direct game. Caravan Sandwich. My husband and I were both pretty excited when we saw this game. It looked really intriguing, the open world. It made it into my favorites of the Wholesome Direct video, so if you want to see more thoughts, you could check that video out. I will put it somewhere. This game in general was beautiful. It was beautiful. The game was very immersive, which I said in my previous video that I felt like this was a game you could really get lost in, and it was true. I felt like I got lost while playing this demo. There is a ton of exploration to do, even just in the demo, which I loved. I love the freedom to explore. The world also felt like there were a bunch of hidden things that you could discover. So while Reika felt like the open world was a bit unfinished, it was a bit early on in development, Caravan Sandwich felt way more complete. Overall, I don't really have anything negative to say about this game. I think it was really interesting. It was easy to play. It was intriguing. I guess I'm interested to see what more of the missions are going to be. Are they going to continue to be fetch quests, or are we going to get some more puzzles in this game? I'm just intrigued, and I am not disappointed at all. So this game is going on my wish list. On my wish list. It's not a take my money because I'm not sure if the story will keep me as engaged as some of the other games I played, like On Your Tail, Dustborn, and Reika. So I feel like I have to put it on my wish list. But maybe if I learn more about the story and the world, it will bump up to that take my money tier. And the last game on this list is for the dino fans out there, and it is a shopkeeping game called Amber Isle. I don't remember when I first found out about this game, but it has been on my wish list for quite some time. I think that the graphics are absolutely adorable. Who doesn't love cute dinos? And being a dinosaur shopkeeper, like, how cute, how cute. While the aesthetics of this game get an A+ in my book, there were some things that really bothered me about this demo. Now, I think it's fine to be inspired by games, for other game creators to be inspired by games. But when things seem like a copy and paste, I don't love it. And there were a few things in Amber Isle that were just a copy and paste from Animal Crossing. And not the typical things either. Like, Animal Crossing games that are copy and paste, I feel like usually are just, they don't even change the mechanics of the gameplay. At least in this game, you are doing something completely different. You are running a shop, you are crafting. That is completely different than the main gameplay of Animal Crossing. But when you talk to the NPCs in this game, they make the same sound effects and have the same type of reactions as the characters in Animal Crossing. And I just did not like that the devs just copy pasted that. I would have preferred some originality. It just seems a little lazy to me, and I'm sorry for saying that, but that is my opinion. I feel like there's a real gem in here. The gameplay was actually really interesting. You go and you kind of scavenge ingredients, and then you create different things to sell in your shop. You set the prices, and you even have to haggle back and forth. And I thought that was really cool, and something I haven't really experienced before. Granted, I have not played many shopkeeping sims, if any, that I could think of off the top of my head, but I thought it was interesting, and it just needs more polish and maybe a bit more originality. So overall, this is such a tricky one. It is such a tricky one, but right now, in the state it was in what I experienced in the demo, I have to put it in the not for me. It needs a lot of work until I'd be willing to pay money for this game. And it needs a bit more originality. So I'm so hesitant to put it there, but I have to put it there. I have to put it there. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video of me ranking the 10 demos I played during Steam Next Fest. I hope you learned something and found some games that you want to put on your own wish list. Let me know what you played during Steam Next Fest, if anything, in the comments below. If you checked out any of these demos and which ones you liked, which ones you didn't like. Do you agree with my ranking? Do you think my ranking is totally wrong? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, friends, stay cozy.